as the most acceptable form of the feminine archetype. Mary is appearing here, there, everywhere. Remember the former Medjugorje, the former Yugoslavia, warning of disasters to come. In Zaytun, near Cairo, remember when we were there, to Muslims and Christians and Jews, to a Long Island woman in her small tract house. I mean, Asian versions as Kuan Yin are appearing all over China. And Kannon, as in Japan, is the same thing. Saraswati in India, as epiphany of mother goddess figures to women's circles around the globe. Sometimes, yes, the rise, I'm getting there. I mean, wearing heavenly blue babushkas or streaming futuristic lightwear. I mean, sometimes as homey as apple pie, other times shining like a comet, but always sincere, always suggesting ways of peacemaking and utterly believed in by those who profess to have seen her. The rise of Mary Magdalene is an extraordinary occasion. How many books, how many novels, how much literature is pouring out of awareness of Mary Magdalene. Now, is it because she's thought to be, as with somebody like Dan Brown, Mrs. Jesus, or is it because it is the rising of the powerful feminine archetype? Whether these Marys are real or imagined doesn't seem to matter. The phenomenon is a response to the present collective need, because in an age in which soul nourishment is so desperately needed, as is love, as is unconditional acceptance, the feminine face of God emerges from a long night of patriarchal suppression, the spiritual counterpart to the rise of women to full partnership with men in all sacred and secular affairs. And whether because of new familiarity with ancient Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and other feminine avatars of the sacred, or because we require the rise of the feminine divine to restore the balance in spiritual life. It just happens, friends, that the feminine face of God is very close to the surface of consciousness and seems to be breaking through more and more in visionary experience to play a part in preserving the world. But why is this happening? And why now, when still the kosher prevailing mindset is hyper-rational, scientific, technological? Well, I think, for one thing, we humans are by nature liminal beings. That's our mystery and the source of our mastery, as well as some of our misery. I mean, liminal consciousness is always betwixt and between. You know, it is a bridge state, such as the time just before falling asleep or just before we really wake up. I mean, you think of all the liminal states that you've been in, and you'll see how present is liminality in your life. Times, for example, of being in love, often huge liminality. Or the rapture of dissolution into nature, yes? Or deep communion of any kind, or creative whoopee, or breakthrough, or stupendous insight. Some of us have had near-death experiences that hurtled us into a borderline place in time. Others may have crossed the threshold from sanity into something else that I do not call insanity, but rather the chaos of the psyche from which is spawned new matter. So you add to this that the fact is that our time is probably the most liminal of times, yes? And as we've seen, everything is in dissolution. History itself is on the road from no longer there-ness to not yet here-ness. We seem to be embarked on a planetary vision quest, a seeking and a searching with few clues in sight. Our condition is not unlike the wonderful piece in the Arthurian saga of Percival, who crosses a bridge of glass to get to an unknown shore, only to hear it crash behind him as he goes forward. And so it's no wonder that voices and visions are commonplace. Goddesses, angels, UFOs, fairies, other avatars of the collective unconscious are rising to hold the pattern, perhaps through which the future can emerge. So both singularly and collectively, I believe, friends, that we are being asked to cross a bridge so that we can be met halfway by the rising reality of what's to come. Now, one of the most effective ways of crossing that bridge is the formal vision quest. How many of you have ever been on vision quests? Long known as a way to discover the truth of one's condition and the next stage of one's life journey, it has assumed new importance and growing acceptance in our time. And vision quests, friends, are especially effective for adolescents as a rite of passage, during which young people release their childhood and its associations and are reborn to a somewhat more mature state and its responsibilities and privileges. So, prepared by guides, questers of any age drum and fast and pray and walk through difficult terrain and then sit and wait and listen. And for a long time, nothing happens. Doubts arise as to the purpose of the whole enterprise, but one persists and deepens one's prayers. And after a while, the passing forms of nature begin to assume meaning and direction. A hawk flies over, and it is a prophetic annunciation. In the midst of dryness and thirst, rains fall, and one knows that nourishment is nigh. Then in the middle of the night, a bear appears. Is it real or not? One never knows, but it has power and presence. Strength is imparted, and a glimmer of the path. Closing one's eyes, the path remains. And one follows it inward into inward worlds, the bear beckoning one forward. One passes scenes from one's life and enters a domain outside of time. Choices are shown. Gifts are given. One returns enhanced and filled with a sense of having moved from novice to initiate.